A big infrastructure project is going on North Eugene Street from Belmead Street to Smith Street in downtown Greensboro. It's right in front of the Hopper Stadium, and it's going to be a bit tricky to get around this area over the next 3 months. Now, there are businesses along this section of North Eugene Street, and the city of Greensboro wants you to know those businesses are open and they are committed to helping you get to them. Businesses along North Eugene Street will be particularly affected by the closing. Orel Design on the corner, Select Cycle or the Triumph Bike Shop, and Acropolis Restaurant. Now, these businesses will remain open while North Eugene Street is closed, but admittedly it will be a little bit more difficult to get here. So as you're driving north on Eugene Street, you'll want to keep on going past the first detour sign you get to, and then behind me on this block you will see parking. There'll be about 20 spaces for parking along this street, and the meters will be covered, so it is free to park. David Parrish is the Assistant City Manager. So explain what's going to be happening on Eugene Street over the next few months.
So what we've got starting here in the next couple weeks is from about Lindsay Street, the old Lindsay Street intersection with Eugene, down to Smith, and at the intersection at Smith and Eugene, turning left, we've got a pretty large stormwater project replacement going on, replacing an old pre-1950 stormwater that's just aged out. It's had some issues in the past, and it's just time to be replaced and provide some infrastructure upgrades.
And this is really deep in the ground.
Yes, so right in kind of the midway, right about below where we are, that it'll be rather shallow, you know, a normal depth. But as it approaches the intersection, at its deepest point will be 18 feet approximately in the ground.
Wow. And we're on Eugene Street, where there's already been a lot of construction going on with the apartments and the greenway. This is totally different. This is really just maintaining the infrastructure of the city.
Yes, this has been on our long-term kind of capital for several years. Looking at it, we've had some flooding episodes in the past due to the decaying nature of the pipe that's in the ground. We do this type of work all over the city. The unique feature of this is it's in an urban setting downtown, but it is time to be replaced, and we feel it is our responsibility to replace it and take care of what's our public asset.
So it means that Eugene Street is going to be closed for a while, up to about 3 months, you think. And there's some businesses along here, but they're going to be open. So it's going to be a little tricky getting to them, but the city is kind of working with them, trying to provide some parking. Is that right?
Yes. So on the streets behind, we're going to go ahead and remove put some bags on some of the meters. We've tried to find as much parking as we can to supplant some of the on-street that's going to be lost. What we're going to be doing right behind us here, though, is this portion of the street won't be open to through traffic, but we are working to put approximately 20 parking spaces in the roadbed while the construction's going on. Obviously, once the construction opens up, we'll pull that striping up and the road will be open for through traffic. But while it's closed, we felt like this would be an opportunity to get as much on-street parking as close as we could to these businesses that'll be impacted.
Carrie Orel is the owner of Orel Design. And how long have you been in business here?
14 years.
Okay, and you do what? What happens here? It's not just hair.
No, well, we do mostly hair. That's kind of our thing, but we do skincare. A young lady, Carolyn Ridge, has just started as our new esthetician. We're very excited. So we do peels, and there's this new cellular thing, and lashes, lots of lashes, all of that. So skin. We don't do massage anymore. We kind of let that go.
And people come from how far around to come here?
Everywhere. I've got clients from New York, Atlanta, Charlotte, Raleigh, obviously Greensboro, this whole area. But yeah, they come from everywhere.
And why downtown Greensboro? Why did you decide this is where you wanted to be?
Because I just love downtown. I love it. You know, when I started here, I was the only thing. There was the dealership, and then they shortly closed, and it was me for a long time. But I love the area. I love being a part of the community that's growing now.
Okay, and of course with growth sometimes comes some headaches. Street is going to be closed for a while, but you're going to be open.
I'm going to be open. We're going to be open still 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday. We are open. Hopefully coming from Smith Street, you might be able to get into our parking lot. That's real. That's if it's safe.
Right.
If it's
Right,
safe.
right.
If it's safe. Yeah.
And so do you recommend people call ahead and you can kind of direct them on how to get here and where to park and that kind of thing?
We are in conversations right now with the city church, also with the folks who are in the window place right down here. Hopefully with Holy Trinity, with the Sioux Hunt parking lot, I'm trying to get a call into them. So hopefully there'll be some parking around the area that we'll be able to direct people to. Unfortunately, this all starts Monday and I haven't heard back from anyone yet. So things are tight.
Right.
Things are tight.
Yeah. Okay.
But we're going to be open. We'll do curbside if we have to. We'll do valet if we have to. Just don't. We really need the business to keep rolling as per normal. It's going to be crazy.
I want to see that curbside haircuts.
Curbside haircuts.
I want to see it. It sounds great to me. Drive through.
Drive through.
John Hill is the president of Select Cycle, Jeep Guys, and Auto Trends. Roads closing, we know it's going to be difficult to get to you. How can people find you? What is the best way to get into Select Cycle?
Supposedly there will be 22 parking spaces adjacent to the front door.
Okay.
There'll be free parking, so hopefully you can walk 100 foot or so from those parking spaces into the store. The sidewalks will be open, so you can roll your motorcycle that you've bought right up the sidewalk and ride home. You may not leave right on the street, but within 100 foot you can be on a public street and take off.
Okay.
So that's how you'll get in and go.
And you can also come up on Battleground as well to Auto Trends behind us?
You can, but that's going to be quite congested with, they're going to bag the meters from what I understand, and probably Smith Street's elated with that because it'll be free parking for their customers. Right. So I perceive that'll be a crowded street. It really probably won't be anywhere to park. That's the challenge, is making sure our customers have a place to land. Whereas now with the metered spaces, the bike parking we have on our property, those will all be lost. So we're hoping that the 22 spaces and some surrounding areas, we're working on some adjacent lots for employee parking and things such as that.
Good to hear. All right, so folks who haven't visited you before, tell them a little bit about the shop.
Select Cycle is a progressive thinking franchise dealer for 7 major brands of motorcycles and motor scooters. We have a very rider-centric culture. We're about heritage, we're about lifestyle, we're not about all the specs and the speed, we're about being cool and being something that you really can identify with from your father's childhood or your childhood, something you reminisce. A product that is a lot of steel, not a lot of plastic. It's a very durable machine. And again, these bikes, most of our products have been around for 100 years or more. They're manufacturers that have never ceased production. So you've probably heard of them, like Triumph, Royal Enfield, Vespa, the brands that have quite the nostalgia. So they have a following. People come from many miles away for that brand. That's the only brand they want. They're not looking for a motorcycle, they're looking for a Triumph. They're looking for a Royal Enfield, they're looking for a Vespa. So they're not just looking for a bike, they know what they want.
And you have customers come from as far as?
Miami, Myrtle Beach, regularly, Chattanooga, Nashville, so Washington, D.C. That's not the everyday. Most of our customers are within 20 to 100 mile range.
Jimmy Katojanis is the owner, chef, and all-around guy you want to know if you want to come eat at Acropolis Restaurant. How long have you been in business here?
We've been here for 49 and a half years. We're hoping to celebrate our 50th anniversary in a few months.
Well, we're hoping so as well. And what tell us about the restaurant and how it got started?
Well, the restaurant was established in 1967. October 26, 1967, by my parents, Gus and Ellen Katojanis. And then my dad retired in '79, and my mom and I changed the restaurant from Southern style American food to Greek food. And that day was April 1st, 1980. April Fool's Day 1980. And we've been Greek ever since. So we've been Greek like 37 years and almost Southern style or American for 13.
So it's in your blood.
It is, yeah.
And do you have some regular customers and that you see all the time? And
we have
new
a
faces?
lot of regulars, of course, over the 49 and a half years. You're going to have and a lot of them are aged out now, and it's hard for them to make it here and all that kind of those things like that. But we get new regulars, and we're focusing on picking up younger clientele too. And hopefully with the apartments across the street and the ones that are building next door, we'll get regular clientele thing all over again with a different generation.
Yeah, that's a good thing to do. Yeah, you want to keep growing. And of course, growth is hard too, because there's construction and stuff going on all around downtown, which sometimes can make it difficult to get here. This isn't your first time having to deal with that.
No, we've incurred a lot of hardships over the years. And here lately, the last few years, of course, it's the construction, the greenway, the construction of the greenway and closing the street up there, and then closing Lindsay also affected our foot traffic, a lot of our foot traffic at the restaurant. And now I think we're coming up on one of our biggest hardships, which is the closing of Eugene Street between Bellamede and Smith for 12 weeks and maybe possibly longer, and that we don't know how we'll overcome that hardship yet.
You're going to remain open, and we want to encourage people to come and walk over. And
yeah, we will remain open, and I may have to do some alternative ways of trying to generate some income, because like I say, we have always depended on the meters outside. We have never had a parking lot, we haven't had the luxury of having a parking lot since 1967, and we rely on the parking meters outside, and those being eliminated and no one can come in, drive up to the restaurant, will definitely hurt us tremendously.
the street's going to be closed, but there is going to be walkways open so people can get to you, and I know you want people to come.
Absolutely. We still encourage our customers to go through the hardship of coming down here and give them even better meal, for making the effort to come down and visit the Acropolis.
And a construction special or something.
Maybe something like that, sure.
All right.
Drink special, something,
Well, best of luck to you. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Assistant City Manager David Parrish says the hard street closing will start actually right here at Eugene and Smith Street in front of Orrell Designs, and that's where the crux of the construction will begin. As crews are able to make progress and finish work, they're going to try to reopen Eugene Street in front of these businesses to provide some better access, and then keep moving with construction, which will end all the way down where Lindsay Street used to intersect with Eugene Street. Again, these businesses remain open during construction. There will be limited parking, but there will always be access to these businesses. So come on over to Eugene Street and enjoy as you always have.